Welcome all of you. I welcome you all in our today's session in which we are going to see some of the properties of Z transform. In our previous two videos, we have seen some different properties of the Z transform, which are nothing but the linearity property, the time translation or time shifting property, then multiplication by an exponential sequence property, the time reversal property, differentiation property, convolution theorem and the complex convolution theorem. In this session, we are going to see some more properties of the Z transform. So, we will continue our discussion with the Parseval's relation. So, our next property is Parseval's relation or Parseval's property. Okay, now here we will consider the two complex sequences x1 of n and x2 of n. Okay, so x1 of n and x2 of n are the two complex sequences. Okay, these are the two complex sequences. Okay, so Parseval's relation states that the summation from n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x1 of n, x2 of n complex conjugate is equal to 1 upon 2 pi j, the closed contour of the integration C, x1 of v into complex conjugate of x2 1 upon v complex conjugate into v inverse dv, where the contour of integration must be in the overlap of the region of convergence of x1 of v and x2 complex conjugate of 1 upon v complex conjugate. Okay, so what is the proof of this? So let here y of n is nothing but x1 of n multiplied by x2 complex conjugate of n. Then y of z is equivalent to summation from n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x1 of n into x2 complex conjugate of n into z raised to minus n. Okay, so this is according to the equation of Z transform. Now using the complex convolution theorem, we can write the above equation as y of z is equal to 1 upon 2 pi j, the contour of integration C, x1 of v, x2 complex conjugate of z conjugate divided by v conjugate into v inverse dv. Okay, so this is according to the complex convolution theorem that we have seen in our earlier video. Okay, now here for z is equivalent to 1. Okay, replace the value of z is equal to 1. What we have? Summation from n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x1 of n into x2 complex conjugate of n is equal to 1 upon 2 pi j, the contour over the integral C, x1 of v into x2 complex conjugate of 1 upon v complex conjugate multiplied by v inverse dv. Okay, so this is our equation. Now, if x1 of z and x2 of z both converge on the unit circle, we can choose v is equivalent to e raised to j omega. And now the equation becomes summation from n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x1 of n into x2 complex conjugate of n is equal to 1 upon 2 pi integration from minus pi to plus pi x1 of e raised to j omega x2 complex conjugate of e raised to j omega d omega. Okay, so here what we have done, we know that v raised to minus 1 dv is equal to, replacing the value of v here, it will be e raised to minus j omega into j into e raised to j omega d omega. Okay, so which is equivalent to j d omega, as this multiplication is equivalent to 1. So here 1 upon v complex conjugate is equivalent to 1 upon e raised to minus j omega, which is equal to e raised to j omega. So these values we have replaced here. So for minus v inverse dv, we have replaced here j d omega. Okay, and for 1 upon v complex conjugate, we have replaced it by e raised to j omega here. Okay, so we obtained our equation. So which is the Parseval's relation in terms of the Fourier transform. Okay, so this relation is the Parseval's relation in terms of the Fourier transform. Now here, if x1 of n is equivalent to x2 of n, which is equal to x of n, then x of n is a real sequence, and our equation now becomes equal to summation from n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay, as x1 of n and x2 of n both are equivalent, we can write it here as x square of n is equal to 1 upon 2 pi j over the closed contour integral x of v into x of v inverse dv. Okay, so where c is the closed contour in the ROC of x of z. Okay, so this is nothing but the Parseval's theorem. Now we will see the initial value theorem. Okay, initial value theorem. So what is this initial value theorem? If x plus z, that is a one-sided sequence, is equivalent to the z transform of the one-sided sequence is given by z transform of x of n, then x of 0 is equivalent to limit x tends to z tends to infinity x plus of z. Okay, so this is the initial value theorem. Okay, where x of 0 is given as limit x tends to infinity x plus of z. So what is this x plus of z? It is nothing but the one-sided sequence. Okay, now we know that x plus of z is equivalent to summation from n is equal to 0 to infinity x of n z raised to minus n. Okay, so as z tends to infinity, all the terms vanishes except the x of 0, which proves the theorem. Okay, so after replacing the limit here, we have limit z tends to infinity x plus of z is equal to limit z tends to infinity summation from n is equal to 0 to infinity x of n into z raised to minus n. So as this limit is replaced, what we have, all the terms here gets vanished except the term at z is equivalent to 0 or x of 0. Okay, so here we have the term x of 0. Okay, so hence we proved the initial value theorem as limit z tends to infinity for x plus of z is equivalent to x of 0. Now what is the final value theorem? Okay, so for the final value theorem, okay, here if x plus z is equivalent to z transform of x of n, where the ROC for x plus of z includes, but it is not necessarily confined to modulus of z greater than 1 and z minus 1, x plus of z has no poles on or outside the unit circle. Okay, so this is the condition. Okay, if x plus of z is equivalent to z of or z transform of x of n, where ROC for x plus of z includes, but it is not necessarily confined to, okay, modulus of z should be greater than 1 and z minus 1. X of plus of z has no poles on or outside the unit circle. Then we can say that the x of infinity is equivalent to limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 into x plus of z. Okay, so what is this x plus of z? It is the one-sided sequence. Now how to prove this? This final value theorem. Okay, to prove this final value theorem, you can write it here as z transform of x of n plus 1 minus z transform of x of n is given as limit k tends to infinity summation from n is equal to 0 to k x of n plus 1 minus x of n into z raised to minus n. Okay, so here replacing the values, what we have? We have z into x plus of z minus z x of 0 minus x plus of z is equal to limit k tends to infinity summation from n is equal to 0 to k 0 to k x of n minus n plus 1 minus x of n into z raised to minus n. Okay, so simplifying this, we have z minus 1 into x plus of z minus z into x of 0 is equal to limit k tends to infinity summation from n is equal to 0 to k x of n plus 1 minus x of n into z raised to minus n. Now let z tends to 1. Then we have here limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 x plus of z minus z x of 0 is equal to limit k tends to infinity summation from n is equal to 0 to k x of n plus 1 minus x of n into z raised to minus n. Okay, and as z tends to 1, this term will be equivalent to 1, so we can neglect this term. Now henceforth, after simplification, we have limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 to x plus of z minus z into x of 0 is equal to limit n tends to infinity modulus of x of 1 minus x of 0 plus x of 2 minus x of 1 plus so on up to x of n plus 1 minus x of n. Okay, so here the terms gets cancelled out here and the remaining terms are now x of infinity minus x of 0. Therefore, x of infinity is equal to limit z tends to 1, z minus 1, x plus of z. Okay, so these two terms gets cancelled out here. Okay, and so we will obtain, so as z tends to 1, this term will be equivalent to 1. Okay, so here our equation will become for x of infinity is equal to limit z tends to 1, z minus 1, x plus of z. We can also write this equation as x of infinity is equal to limit z tends to 1 minus z raised to minus 1 into x of z. This theorem enables us to find the steady state value of x of n without solving the entire sequence. Okay, now next property is the correlation property. So what is this correlation property? If x1 of z is equal to z transform of x1 of n and x2 of z is given as z transform of x2 of n, then the correlation property states that the z transform of correlation of x1 and x2 of L is equivalent to z transform of summation from n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x1 of n into x2 of n minus 1. N minus L. Okay, so this is given as x1 of z multiplied by x2 of z inverse. Okay, so this is the correlation property. So we can write this as correlation of x1, x2 of z is equal to x1 of z into x2 of z inverse. Okay, so this is the correlation property. Okay, so here the properties of z transform, okay, are over. So in this case, or in the properties of z transform, we have discussed the different properties like the linearity, the time translation or time shifting, then multiplication by the exponential sequence, time reversal, differentiation property, convolution theorem, then complex convolution theorem, Parseval's theorem, the initial value theorem, the final value theorem, and the correlation property. Okay, so these are the different properties of the Z transform. Okay, now we will see some common Z transform pairs here. So what are the some common Z transform pairs? Okay, so these are nothing but, okay, if the sequence is delta n, then the Z transform is given as 1. Okay, so this is the sequence here and this is the Z transform of the provided sequence. Okay, and what will be the ROC, region of convergence? For delta n, the region of convergence is all Z values. Okay, now here if the sequence is u of n, that is unit step signal, then the region of Z transform is 1 divided by 1 minus Z inverse, and the region of convergence is modulus of Z is greater than 1. Okay, if the provided sequence is minus u of minus n minus 1, then the Z transform is again 1 divided by 1 minus Z inverse But now the ROC gets changed. The modulus of Z should be less than 1 here. Okay, it is less than 1. Now here, if the sequence is delta n minus m, then the Z transform is Z raised to minus m. Now region of convergence is all Z except 0. Okay, and it is if m is greater than 0 and all Z except infinity if m is less than 0. Okay, so these are the conditions here for ROC. Then if the sequence is a raised to n into u of n, okay, if the sequence is a raised to n into u of n, then the Z transform is 1 divided by 1 minus a into Z inverse. Okay, and the region of convergence is modulus of Z should be greater than modulus of a. Okay, if the sequence is minus a raised to n u of minus n minus 1, then the region of convergence is 1 upon 1 minus a into Z raised to minus 1. But here region of convergence gets changed. It is modulus of Z should be less than modulus of a. If provided sequence is n into a raised to n multiplied by u of n, then it is a into Z inverse divided by 1 minus a into Z inverse raised to 2. Okay, and modulus of Z should be greater than modulus of a here. Okay, in the similar manner, if the sequence is minus n into a raised to n into u of minus n minus 1, then it is Z transform is a into Z raised to minus 1 divided by 1 minus a Z inverse square. But the region of convergence is now modulus of Z less than modulus of a. Okay, so in this way we can find out the Z transform of different sequences. Here the values of a will get changed every time. Okay, and accordingly the region of convergence. Okay, so with the help of these few common Z transform pairs, we can solve our Z transform of different sequences. Okay, I hope these sessions will be helpful for you for your further studies of Z transform. Thank you.